Hi, good morning. Welcome to another Monday meditation session. I hope you are all well, and welcome to all the occupiers of White City Place. I hope that you are keeping well and happy, and life is good. Um, if you haven't done any meditation with me before, I just tend to talk a little bit about a theme to start and try and blow away any myths around a meditation practice, and also make it accessible to anybody. Anybody and everybody can meditate. There is no skill particularly required, but there is practice. So, how do you become, well practiced at meditating? It's just literally doing it every day and showing up, um, and not making it too hard a task. It should be an indulgence, not a chore. Okay, so just as you would find time to, I don't know, take a shower or go to the gym, or maybe even spend 20 minutes on Instagram. It's everything is a choice. There is science that's being worked on at the moment to discover whether or not 20 minutes of constant practice is as valuable, or sorry, is more valuable than say 4 5-minute chunks or 2 10-minute chunks throughout the day, because of course everybody is always pressed for time, but we do make the time if we really really want to do it. So that's one big thing. So time is probably the biggest obstacle. I mean, even with my closest dearest friends who have meditated with me um, every now and then, um, still have this kind of idea of, oh, I didn't really find the time, or I forgot to do it, or something else came up, or whatever. But if you make there's certain things in your life that should be non-negotiable, you know, whether it's eating a healthy breakfast, having a certain amount of minutes exercise a week, spending time with family, all those things, they are non negotiable. So meditation could be a non negotiable. And all that means is that you say to yourself, I'm going to give myself this time every day to meditate. And if that time is taken up with something else, an important appointment, for example, then I will use that same time slot. Um, sorry, the same time frame. Say it was 20 minutes. I will do that later in the day. I will find time, and I will put that time slot somewhere else. So it's really being religious about it. Think about it, I guess, as a way of food, soul food. But think of it as literally like food. So you're not going to starve all day. If you're really, 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 really flat out, busy, 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 busy. Yes, there are some people that forget to eat, but generally, if you're super hungry, you will find the time to go and do that no matter how busy you are. So think of it a little bit like that with meditation. And also, if meditation time um, is tricky for you, then there are moving meditations that you can do walking along the street, you know. Um, so and that's all wrapped up in mindfulness, being very mindful of how your feet hit the pavement, what's around you, what you pass, whether they seem interesting or not. It could be a concrete wall, you acknowledge it. You just take in everything that you see, feel, smell, touch, sense, hear. There's all those different senses that are always on full alert. So use them when you're moving around, and just see if you can be as present as you can. That's really what being in the present moment means. It means um, you're not thinking about the past, you're not thinking about the future, because you're taking in every single little nuance, every detail that you pass on a daily basis. You're going to find that hard to do that all day, every day, but give yourself pockets of time, maybe in a nice aesthetic. You could, like the park or your garden, or even a beautiful book that is full of, um, you know, art pictures, or pictures of nature. Um, I have this book called The Hidden Life of Trees, and I open it and I just lose myself in the pages because it's so beautiful. These pictures of all these trees all over the world, something like that. And then you notice every little thing about what you're looking at. We get so used to skimming. We swipe, we swipe, we swipe, we swipe up, we swipe down, we swipe left, we swipe right. It's the same with books as well. We turn through the pages. We need to know what it's about, what's going on. It's really about taking the time to just stop and look and be really, really present. So that's things in a book. But even if you're cooking your evening meal, um, let's just say you take the salt out of the cupboard, and you notice whether it's granule or if it's flakes of salt, um, and adding that to the water, which is bubbling on the stove. What do those bubbles look like? What are you going to put in the water? Oh, let's say potatoes. So you start chopping up some potatoes. You feel the texture of the potato before you slice it. And then you feel the handle of the knife in your hand. What is that made of? Is it wood? Is it plastic? Is it soft? Is it hard? Is it smooth? Is it chunky? And you slice into the potato and you feel that slicing through the potato, right? Um, and then you notice that the potato is quite cold and wet inside. A raw potato is like that. And then you start chopping, really maybe more mindfully than before. And you start sort of making those slices a little bit more even or not, or maybe they're going to be chopped up into lots of chunks, but whatever it is, you're noticing it. And you put it in the water and you notice a little bit of splashback and how that burns your skin a little bit. On it goes. You get the picture. Everything that, say we were just doing that together now, you would have been so in the present moment while you were doing that. And that just means you weren't having any future thoughts. You won't have any past thoughts. You were right there. And that just keeps you a little bit more balanced in life. Why is that important? It's important because when we're dragged into the past and we're constantly thinking about the future, we're missing out on where we really are right now. And we can walk down the street and miss so much of life. And there may be little clues as you walk down the street. There may be things that you miss that could be important to you in some way. And when you start to live your life like that, then you're a little, more in the present moment. You feel more. It slows down a little bit more, and thinking about the past or the future just becomes a little bit less important. And of course, you have to think about the future to a certain extent. You've got to plan things. Your week, for example, when you're meeting people, and what hours of work you're doing and things like that. That's fine. Of course it is. You have to be able to do that forecasting, but it's not getting attached to thoughts that ruminate, that send you down the rabbit hole in the future that isn't actually real yet. And the past isn't real. It's only your memory of it that's keeping it real. A really nice way to think about that is, two people that have been in the same place will have very different perspectives on it. Even if it's just a walk in the park, they will have seen it from a different angle to you. And so your recollection of it is going to be different to their recollection of it, their memory of it, your memory of it. So whose memory is real? Whose memory is right? Nobody's. Nobody's. Because it's your perception, it's your memory of it, but it doesn't make it real. It doesn't make it right or wrong. It's just not there anymore. It doesn't exist. So it's just your memory, your perception of it, which could be so different to the other person, right? So really, it's not None of it is really relative anymore. You don't need that. It's nice to draw on the past every now and then. I mean, history is useful because we learn how to move forward sometimes from history, whether it's our own history or history in books. Um, but we don't get caught up in it. So we use what we can from the future, planning. We use what we can from the past, how we can learn to move forward, but we don't get lost in the narratives. The only important narrative that happens is right now. Right now. That's the only thing. Okay, so I hope that helps a little bit. Um, the other thing is that your breath is with you all your life, and you have so many breaths per day, around the region of 25,000 breaths every day, and I can't remember how many tons of breath that is, but it's a lot. um, and when we breathe in and out, everything is working in our body. But it really works with the heart. The breath and the heart work together in that when we slow down our breath, we're activating the parasympathetic nervous system, and that relays with the heart. So the heartbeat, you can slow down your heartbeat when you slow down your breath. It's very difficult to measure yourself, but that is what you're doing. So if you were super super uptight, not only would your breath be going 10 to the dozen, your mind would be going 10 to the dozen, your heart would start beating faster. We know this through fear, or people having panic attacks. Everything works so much faster. And so, of course, the reverse is true. And the parasympathetic nerve works in line with the heart. The heart rate slows down. They work together. This connects with your vagus nerve, which is one of the really big nerves that goes all the way from your gut to your brain. Which is why when you are in one of those fearful states, you suddenly don't feel hungry anymore. You can't really eat. Your digestion's kind of a bit messed up. You're all over the place. They all work together. So there's another way for me to say also that your mind and your body are not separate things. They are all connected. Don't think that the neck cuts you off from your head and your body. It's all the same. You're just one body, and everything works together. And it's recent science which is demonstrating that. Okay, so we're going to start the meditation now. So I want you just to close your eyes and get really nice and comfortable. And it doesn't matter where you sit. The only thing I would say that is if you lie down, um, there's a fine line between falling asleep and meditating. So it's nice for you just to be a little bit more upright. It's good to have a straight spine just because that allows you to breathe a little bit deeper. When we bend our backs, when we kind of hunch forward, we're squashing the lungs and the rib cage slightly. So we're less able to take those really nice oxygenated breaths. Okay. So just sitting nice and quiet. And I just don't want you to think about meditating. I just want you to notice how you're breathing. So whenever we think about the breath, often we try and breathe. We try and change it. Try and see if you cannot do that. So step back from yourself and just notice how you are breathing naturally with no agenda. And also notice how you're sitting, how you're supporting yourself. If your back is leaning against a wall like mine is, How does that feel against your back? Are there any parts of your back that are not supported by the wall or the sofa or the chair? And how does that feel? How are your shoulder blades sitting? How are your shoulders? Are your shoulders a little bit raised, or are they away from your ears, drawing down, away, keeping the neck nice and long? And how is your seat? Do you feel evenly weighted on both sides of your hips? Are both legs bent at the knees, or is one bent at the knee and one leg straight? Just noticing, you don't have to change anything at all. What are the sounds around your space? Are they in the room? So they would be local sounds. It might just be the sound of my voice. Sometimes laptops can make a little whirring noise. It could be neighbors above you, below you, to the sides of you. Or it could be people outside or traffic, a little bit more distant sounds. Or it could just be a very low hum of something, maybe a fridge or a light or anything in your space. There's also that sense of silence as well. If you're in a quiet space, it's a kind of silent buzz, if that makes sense. When you know that sound is a vibration, you can kind of get a bit of a sense of that sound of silence around you. Sometimes you think you hear something. It could just be your ears adjusting. And then just below your ears, noticing your jawline. Is it nice and relaxed? If it's not, or you're not sure, you can always clench your jaw by, kind of gritting your teeth together and then letting it go. And then you'll know, you get a good sense that your jaw is relaxed. Just allowing your tongue just to sit inside that lower palate, nice and heavy. And take your attention back to your breath, which was just doing its normal thing as you're exploring the sensory experiences around your space. You probably forgot about your breath for a little while, which is good. It's good. It's just doing its natural thing. But we are going to start controlling the breath now. So I want you to push out all of your breath. Even if you've already breathed out, there's always more to push out. So just draw the navel into the spine so you can really quite literally push it out. And then start taking a nice inhale through your nose if you can. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold that breath for a couple of beats. 2, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Push out that last bit, even if you need to kind of draw the navel into the spine. Then breathing in again. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold the breath for 2 and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Push out the last bit. One last time, inhaling through the nose. 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. 2, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Push out the rest. And up. Let it go. Let go of the count. Let go of your belly. Let go of trying. And just see how the body feels now. Just checking in. All those little points that you're checking in before. How does it feel? Is it relaxed? Is it softened a little bit more? Maybe. And the breath is just quite literally having a breather, not conscious breath. It's just doing its natural thing right now. Again, noticing any sounds, even the sound of silence if there's nothing else. To start our square breathing. So imagine that you're drawing squares with your breath. And the beat will be 4. So you'll have 4 seconds to count up the square, 4 seconds. And as you breathe in, and then you hold your breath for 4 along the top of the square. You breathe out down the right hand side of the square for 4. And then along the bottom, you hold the breath out for 4 if you can. So we'll start that together, so you don't need to do it now, just start. So again, push out all of your breath, last drop, and inhaling out the square. 2, 3, 4. Hold that breath across the top of the square. 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath out on the bottom of the square. 3, 4. Breathe in at the left hand side of the square. 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4. Down the side. 3, 4. Hold the breath out. 3, 4. Breathe in, go up the side of the square again. Keep going in your own time. Keep going with those squares. And just notice how your body is feeling as you take them. Relaxing into your body more. You're holding your shoulders up too high, you're holding your in breath, and you're running out of steam on the hold out breath. Just notice that. Always take a literal breather and stop. So one more square. If you're halfway through it, just finishing that one off. Just started in here, just go feeling it. Always honor your breath. Just finish. Whenever you do finish that square, just come back to nothing. Just no need to do anything. Just let your breath relax. Don't think about it. No counting. No squares. Just move. Really naturally. If you're sitting, or however you're sitting actually, just have your palms on your lap, turned up. So turn your hands up, your palms up to the sky, just relax your hands. Feel the right below. Just take a moment, your palms facing up. Just feeling that. It's a little bit different to the palms facing down. And you're going to think about your hands a little bit. Your hands have so many sensory nerves in them, which is why it feels like most of it sounds hard. And I'm really mentoring each finger. And as I do, I want you to really take your attention there. There's always a tendency to want to move the finger to check where it is in space. See if you can try and not try too hard to move. So when I mention each digit, just bring your attention there and just see if you can sense where it is in space. Quite often when we do this experiment, it's interesting to note whether our fingers are slightly curved or straight. And we actually can't tell sometimes, so there's a kind of tendency to want to open your eyes and have a quick glance at your hands to see if you are right, you know. That's not important. It's just seeing if you can sense it. So, alright, so we're going to start off with the right hand. So just bring your attention to your right without moving it. Just get a sense of, see if you can feel it individually as opposed to just mixing it. Straight with its bend, just get a sense of it. Go into your right index finger. Feel the sensations. So you can feel it separate. And then little finger in your right hand. Fourth finger. And little finger. Take your attention to your right hand. So is there any sensations there? Anything there? Sometimes it can be a little bit like a gentle anxiety or it's you feel like there's a weight in your hand, a sense of your energy sometimes. Maybe nothing, that must be the air. And then to the left, your left hand. Your left index finger. And the middle finger. And you separate just with a sense as to where it is in relation to the other fingers without moving it. Bring your attention to that finger, feeling that finger. fourth finger, or second, and the deep sleeping breath. The palm of the hand, any sensations there. Attention to both hands together, just feeling any sensations that come up in the palms of the hands, the fingers. If you take any tension there, then maybe you can go activity. Just notice your breathing as well. You haven't been focused on your breath so much, so just notice how you're breathing. Just relax. Let the breathing here. And with your hands in this position, I want you to imagine your next in-breath is coming from outside your body, in through your fingers, up your arms, to your shoulders, over the shoulders, up your neck, right into the crown. So that's all going to be one in. And then you get to the crown of the head, just feeling that breath in. And as you breathe out, just letting that just go over your body. So it's just kind of as if it was, imagine it was water, it would just be trickling back down your shoulders, back down your arms, into your feet. So wherever you're at, so breathe, breathe, all the way. Holding it up just for a couple of beats. Breathe in, breathe up. Just leave it. Just hold on. Breathe. So start to build this flow of the breath. Breathing in. All the way up through to the crown of the head. All the way, over your shoulders. Just keep that going in your own time. Just seeing if you can match the speed of your breath with that visual sense that feeling of the breath traveling all the way up to the crown of the head. Still keeping it into air. So you can really feel that flow of energy. So every in-breath is an energetic breath. It is energy coming in. And the out-breath is a relaxed response. So it's really nice just to feel it just kind of flowing down your nose, it's really is a flow of breath. To imagine that in breath is bringing in a feeling of love or joy, anything that makes you feel good. So breathing all the way, all the joy, happiness, happiness, all the way, right up to the crown of the head. Because it feels so nice, you want to hold that breath in for a couple of beats, and then you let it just all the way down, all the way back down, all your shoulders, so you're just drenching yourself in that flow. Yes. Good breathing. Every energies in your body. Just holding yourself, holding onto the top of each breath. And now just flow. Breathe. Breathe. Good, good breathing. Just naturally smile. Noticing if the breaths are long or short, deep or shallow. Noticing if there are any body sensations that are weak. And to feel that feeling into this feeling, which extends out of your body. So you're using such a beautiful energy, breathing it in. It starts to fill not just you, but your area around. So it's if you have an aura, energy field around your body is being filled out with this joy, this love, this happiness, such a breathing, such extending out of your body as well as breathing. So something will radiate this feeling, just gets bigger, so your body can contain it and it's going to spread to your surroundings. You do inhale a magnetic energy field. This is science, which is why when you have others who feel like this, you can sense it and feel good being around. The opposite is also true. So this negative experience, that energy is negative, and then you feel is also negative, worse than so, so this is a science. Something really it's a good feeling. It's positive energy. Even if you just say the words it radiate. It's like really lovely. You can take anything, just by tapping into it. Noticing the sensations. So I want you to take this hand, just lifting your lap very slightly. Just take them to your cusp. So just pretty much. You'll probably be alright just above, below your collarbone, just on your chest space. So maybe around time you can just be sitting there and start spending energy against you. And just thinking of just one thing today that you're grateful for. It could be a really beautiful cup of coffee, it could be your partner kissing you goodbye, it could be the love for your child, or your pet. It could be a really nice phone call from someone, a beautiful text, whatever it is. If you smile in someone's face, just putting that gratitude and fill you up, calming the heart, and the soul just activating that beautiful parasympathetic nervous system, that nice relaxed response of gratitude. Good. And allowing that beautiful feeling just very gently open your eyes so that you are gently bringing yourself back into your space. And when you've got your eyes open, you still got your hands on your heart. It's a little transition right now. You readiness having been holding meditating and feeling all of that love. Part of when you come back into the outside world, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, how do I maintain that? So just feel that you're still feeling this gratitude. And just take it with you most of the time. Just kind of feel good. Let that energy vibrate into space or in your ear, touch with, and have a beautiful rest of the week. Thanks for being here.